Take a couple of deep breaths to center ourselves and achieve an inner quiet, making sure that our astral body is perfectly still, unswayed by astral currents or mental currents raging around us. And our mental body is one-pointed and focused on the soul, just like a searchlight turned towards the soul realm. And there we see a lotus, fully open, scintillatingly with light and pulsating like a living heart, as a symbol of our group soul. Then in our creative imagination, let's place ourselves right at the center of our lotus on the bluey white jewel, a place of strength, of poised and quiescent will, of buddhi or will to good. Spirit. Now extend that image and feel and see waves of the power of love emerging or rising from the jewel and gently spilling into the petals of our lotus. And now let's extend that visualization by seeing that power of love pouring down onto our personalities below, particularly in our mental body, thus linking the personality to spirit or to the triad via the soul. Then let's place our little selves at the disposition of our group soul, of humanity, and of our inner ashram. Then let us say silently, and putting the whole weight of your soul behind these words, as we understand the significance of what we are saying. At the center of all love, we stand. And from that center, we, the soul, will outward move. From that center, we, the ones who serve, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in our hearts, through our group, and throughout the world. And let us see our little group as if we were a group of initiates, points of light, pilgrims on the way of love, as DK calls us. And let's surround Master DK and the healing ashram, as well as facing the whole hierarchy, meditating together as the invocation from the whole world is rising today on Easter Day. Let's invite Michael and all those souls on the inner plane who are joining us. Let's also invite those from this side of the veil, joining us subjectively through their love for humanity. And let's invite the presence and the cooperation of our healing friends, the Divas, Diva H in particular, working under Master DK's supervision, and the Christ, with his cohort of multicolored divas. And let us sound one united Om as both sides of the veil work as one. And now in contemplative reflection, let's brood upon the ageless teachings on the festival of Easter. Today being Easter Sunday, the day of resurrection, celebrated by many cultures. At the Aries full moon, the Christ, the leader of the forces of light, directs the spirit of resurrection. And let's ponder on who he is. We are told that he is an extraplanetary, living spiritual entity. He is a life-giving spirit. The key words here are life-giving. Life-giving spirit. That is, he transmits the life force of the solar logos and the cosmic logos to our planet. He is a member of Shambhala. He is the chosen emissary of hierarchy. He is called the Son of Righteousness, who can now arise with healing in his wings. Because if you remember, one of the purposes of the Logos for creating this planet was for healing purposes, for the redemption and the salvation of the one soul scattered within the form, the one life which is imprisoned within the form. So it's the healing of these lesser lives to raise them to a much higher state of being. So this is who the spirit of resurrection is. And the Christ directs the spirit of resurrection to restore the livingness Again, keyword, livingness to men's spiritual aims and life to their planning. To engender anew the vitality needed to implement the trends of the new age. To guide humanity out of the dark cave of death, isolation, and selfishness into the light of the new day, and to carry this life-giving energy which counteracts death, this vision which gives incentive to life, and this hope which can restore all nations. And the forces of restoration under the direction of the Spirit of resurrection restore then the will to live and the will to good. Restore the psychological health and morale. Reorient the human psyche in acquiring the vision which will bring about right human relations. So the forces of restoration and the spirit of resurrection are life-giving beings, entities. They empower us. And the spirit of resurrection directs the forces of restoration towards hierarchy in evoking response from the new group of world servers and disciples everywhere, to stiffen their psychological morale and to strengthen their will to live and their will to good. And hierarchy then releases the potency of the spirit of resurrection in the hearts of men everywhere. So Christ's resurrection celebrated at Easter, the sepulchre bursts wide open, liberating Christ or the life within from the prison of death, the prison of matter, to a new state of being. And the sepulchre bursting open is the symbol, in a way, of that new life, that new vitality, which is really the will to good, which is so powerful. If you remember from our studies, the Shambhala force is synthetic and unifying, but it is also expulsive. It's the most destructive being powerful. And it destroys anything that stands in the way of the life within, of the liberation of the life within. Any obstacles that stand in the way of the life. So this, the tomb bursting open is a symbol of this new energy from Shambhala. I mean, obviously not new to the planet, but definitely for us, it is new. To a new state of being. And if we look at the etymology of the word resurrection, we will see that it comes from the Latin resurgere, meaning to rise again, to lift oneself, to appear again, to be restored. And the meaning comes from re, meaning again, and surgere, meaning to rise, the English to surge, so to emerge. Hence the symbol of the egg at Easter, the symbol of the new life within, surging and liberated from the prison of matter. Another symbol of this life-giving spirit at Easter is the Easter Bunny, which is the symbol of fertility, of rebirth, of new life, and being spring, so that the new life emerges and manifests after the long hibernating winter. So then let's celebrate the rising and the living Christ. And Decaders say, so let the demand go out for the appearance of this life-giving spirit. In other words, invoke the spirit of resurrection. And let it go forth with such intensity that the hierarchy will be called into active response. In other words, hierarchy will respond, will absorb that energy and will respond in kind by distributing it. And therefore, hierarchy will immediately release the potency of that life-giving spirit into the hearts of men everywhere, as it's directed towards hierarchy and to the new group of world servers, so that then we can pass it on to the rest of humanity. So maybe let's stop and think and let these words from the ageless wisdom gradually sink into our brain, impressing the cells and making their impact on the cells of the brain. So our role as the new group of world servers, the third seed group of magnetic healers, is to distribute that will to good, that will to love, that life aspect, the Shambhala force. And to distribute it freely, unconditionally, selflessly to humanity. Then, friends, with that firmly in mind and having understood the significance of the rising and the living Christ, who after his momentous spiritual experience or rather at the Garden of Gethsemane, where he made contact with solar energies and with these extra planetary beings like the avatar of synthesis, the spirit of resurrection, the forces of restoration, the spirit of peace. And he made contact with our Logos and his representative on earth, Sanat Kumara. So he has embodied the Shambhala force and brought it down to us. So having fully understood the significance of this day, then let us together assert our intent in saying the Healers Group Mantra with purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart. We offer ourselves for this work of healing, this offer we make as a group. And to our fellow men, we seek to heal. And now let's turn to these great spiritual beings whose help has been invoked by our Logos to help humanity achieve its task, the role that's been assigned to humanity of the transmitter, the macrocosm for the lower kingdoms. Salvaging other souls. Releasing the spirit from its prison of matter. So let's turn to these great spiritual beings who want only that for us. The avatar of synthesis, Ray One, cosmic will, the will to love and the will to unify. Then the spirit of peace, cosmic love, the will of our Logos is essentially love, peace on earth, right human relations. And this is what the spirit of peace brings us. Right human relations and harmony. Then the Lord Buddha, intermediary between Shambhala and hierarchy, illuminating the mental plane so that we can become more aware of the logoic intent for us, for humanity. So let's see the triangle of will and power surrounding the Christ as he faces his final initiation, which entails walking on earth again as leader and world teacher in another zodiacal cycle, the Aquarian age. Let's place then the triangle of will and power over the love triangle made up of the Christ, the embodiment of cosmic love on earth. Master DK representing the heart center of our Logos, hierarchy, and our soul group representing the love of humanity. See these two triangles of will and love blending and fusing and become one. And let's place that one triangle on the group chakric triangle made up of our group crown chakra, our group Ajna, and our group Alta Major. On the etheric plane, therefore stepping down the will to good, the Shambhala force, and making it manifest on earth by starting to change the blueprint, the etheric plane, restructuring it, rebuilding it along better lines, more adequate lines. So see then the etheric plane flooded with triangles, golden triangles. And now let's precipitate this triangle of dispelling radiance using our group third eye, which registers the will of our group soul, which then uses our group Ajna right eye, left eye triangle as distributing agent. Let's place this triangle of dispelling radiance, impressing it over the 3 planetary glands or portals on earth, made up of London, Geneva, and New York. See that will to good, that radiance spilling to the rest of the world, from these 3 points, and dispelling the dark thought forms and cloud that's hovering over the Middle East and America. See it dissipating these thought forms of separativeness, aggression, war, etc. And see the rays of that radiance piercing through these clouds and reaching the hearts of the people below. Strengthening their heart centers, making them stand with massed intent against the forces of materialism and aggression, making a stand, being brave, courageous, standing on their own 2 feet. And now let us say aloud in a low voice, saying it slowly and deliberately as we know the results. We know this of the spiritual law that as we invoke, then the forces being invoked respond. They have to respond. This is the spiritual law. But in simpler terms, Christ did say 2,000 years ago, ask and you will receive. That's basically the whole. Invocation and evocation. The whole theme. Ask and you will receive. So we know that we will receive a response from these higher beings that we've just invoked. So let us say together, may the love of the one soul and the one life flowing through our group radiate upon you, our fellow man, and permeate every part of your body, healing divisions, cleavages, establishing right human relations according to the will of our Logos, soothing frayed nerves, fears, agitations, restlessness, anxiety and discontent in the world, and strengthening the heart and the hands of those who work with the Christ principle towards love, tolerance, understanding and cooperation, strengthening their stance against the forces of materialism and standing without fear in unison and in massed intent, dissipating separative thoughts of dissension and disharmony, selfish motives, self-interests blocking the soul life and hindering service and good health. So in unison with the whole of hierarchy on the inner plane, celebrating the risen Christ and that momentous experience of contacting the Shambhala force and bring it down here on earth for us to use. Let's sound one united Om, carrying that fiery love, and let's direct it to the heart center of our fellow men.
Let's intone the powerful invocations. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May men of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all men be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us to do our part.
Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end.
Let's work with the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
Thank you, Michael. And now let's raise our clasped hands above the head and say, and so let it be, and help us to do our part. And bring them down to your forehead and let them rest gently on your heart, so that these energies in that Shambhala force of will to good and ripple out subjectively, silently and powerfully into your environment and transform the hearts of all those you come into contact with during the day.
Let us finish by saying together, deliberately and convincingly, the joy of the divine self is our strength. The power of the spirit of man shall triumph. The forces of light do control the forces of evil. The work of the great ones must go on. The coming one is on the way. The avatar approaches. For this, we must prepare. Let us close with a minute of dynamic quiet on this Easter day.
Thank you, friend. Thank you for being here today on Easter Sunday. And thank you, Catherine, Ellen, and Heike for voicing the invocations and the mantra.